Why Gen Z is cooked. Look, I'm just going to say what everyone's thinking, but nobody actually wants to admit. Gen Z might genuinely be the most capable generation to ever exist, and that same thing might be what completely wrecks them. Not the economy, not the job market, not some rigged system, their own potential. Just stay with me for a second, because this is going to sting a little before it makes sense. You've seen it, I've seen it, we've all seen it. The 17-year-old on TikTok already talking about passive income. The college kid running a Shopify store from his dorm room. That guy who dropped out at 19 and is somehow posting from Europe every week. The girl who turned her bedroom into a content studio. Teenagers flipping sneakers, building Discord communities, launching apps, genuinely making real money. And Gen Z is watching all of this every single day on every single app. And honestly, they're not wrong to get hyped. The opportunities are real, the access is real. You can actually build something serious from a laptop at 20 years old. That's not motivational poster nonsense, that's just true. But here's where it falls apart, and this is the part nobody talks about. Seeing the opportunity is completely different from being built for it. And here's the psychology behind why. Every time you watch someone else win online, your brain gets a dopamine hit just from imagining yourself doing the same thing. Scientists call this reward prediction. Your brain starts celebrating before you've done a single thing. So by the time you actually sit down to do the real boring repetitive work, your brain already felt the reward and it's already hunting for the next hit. That's not a character flaw. That's just human biology being exploited by the internet every single day. So picture this guy. Let's call him Tyler. Tyler's 20, smart kid, finds video editing as a freelance skill. First week he's locked in. Tutorials, practicing every night, telling friends he's about to charge clients. Second week he lands a gig, makes $75, posts about it. Third week, the next client takes longer, the work gets repetitive, a friend mentions dropshipping is faster money. And just like that, Tyler's gone. Never edited again, never charged real rates, just moved on. And Tyler isn't one person. Tyler is an entire generation doing that same thing across 1,000 different skills. That cycle plays out the same whether it's freelancing, content creation, trading, e-commerce, coding, copywriting. The path keeps changing, but the pattern never does. Start strong, hit the boring part, disappear. And every time they restart somewhere new, they fall further behind the one person who just stayed. The word I keep landing on is fragile. Not stupid, not lazy, fragile. Psychologists actually call this ego depletion. Every time you start something and quit, you make it slightly easier to quit the next thing. The quitting literally becomes the habit. They want the income, but not the invisible months. They want the audience, but not the videos that get 11 views. They want the skill, but not the season where they're still bad at it. Fragile people don't build things. They just collect starting points. Now, before you go to the comments saying, "So you're telling us to get a 9 to 5 and be grateful," that's the opposite of what I'm saying. The opportunity in front of this generation is genuinely insane. More tools, more leverage, more access than any generation before them. I want them to go after it hard. But going after it hard means picking one thing and staying through the part where it stops being fun and starts just being work. That's the only move that actually works. Because here's how this ends. A small group of Gen Z is going to get seriously, life-changingly wealthy. Not because they were smarter or luckier, but because they stayed when everyone else quietly quit. Right next to them will be thousands of people who had the same information, the same access, the same starting energy, who just never made it through the boring part. The difference between those two groups isn't talent. It's not opportunity. It's just the willingness to keep showing up when there's zero applause and zero validation. So the real question was never whether Gen Z is cooked. The real question is, which version of Gen Z are you? And if this hit different, you already know what to do. Subscribe, because this channel is for the ones who actually want to figure it out.